What up, though, y'all? It's Chris, broadcasting to you from the D. We got to talk about the Essence Fest that apparently just happened. I was unaware of this since I've never went to it, never was really all that interested. But something interesting has developed with it nonetheless. Apparently, to all accounts that have been there and people who shared videos, it was really lacking in attendance this time around, and that is because black folks in New Orleans especially feel like they are being pushed out by African representation. Now, what do I mean by that? That sounds kind of odd, right? Well, unbeknownst to me, the Essence Fest is operated by African folks. So you got people at the top level that are making all of the decisions and how this is going to be ran and what's going to be featured there. And they're basically taking something that was all about black Americans and switching it over, basically hijacking it to be about Africa. And that's not what the people want. They want to go there and they want to celebrate black culture here in America. They want, I guess, hip hop. They want the clothes that black folks wear to be represented. They want the food that black folks consume to be represented. Just all of the African stuff like jollof rice. Black Americans typically don't eat that stuff. So I can see why this is a problem. And here's the thing. Years ago, black Americans wanted to be African, but that didn't end up going over very well because it does appear, well, it's kind of always appeared this way, that Africans can't stand us. We were not accepted because we were not, quote unquote, pure, because of decades of, or generations rather, of slave owners having children with slaves. So you see black folks, we are we have varying different shades of brown and black within us, and so they don't like that, and so we were not considered to be good enough to them. And so after a while, American blacks kind of just did our own thing and really dissociated from Africa. The whole thing of tracing your roots back to Africa and all that, like what Alex Haley did, they pretty much killed that. So you skip forward to now, and it's interesting to have people from Africa coming over here basically trying to displace American blacks in an event that was always about American blacks. Now, other groups have always been welcomed in that environment, to my understanding, but it was about American blacks. And now you have it being hijacked by Africans, and they're just basically acting like black folks here in America or anybody else just doesn't exist. I seen a video. It had several women that were of African descent. They were asking the women there where they were from, and when they told them they were from America, they laughed at them. I'm just like, wow, really? Because you can't go anywhere else in the world, to my understanding, put on an event displaying your culture, your heritage, and ignore that of the people that actually live there. And you most certainly can't do it going there making fun of those people. I saw all types of different African flags. I didn't see a single American flag. And this was very strange. So the end result is that year after year, because I'm just now learning about this, year after year, the attendance has fallen off. And this time it was so bad to where when people were showing like the exhibition hall where you can shop and there's different kiosks, there were large spaces with nothing there. Even local vendors who would come there before and provide that awesome New Orleans food, they weren't there either. So you had to have yourself some jollof rice if you wanted to get fed there, which is ridiculous. Speaking of that wonderful New Orleans food, I've also learned that Africans are trying to take credit for New Orleans food, claiming that it is African food. That absolutely is Black America food. Just so ridiculous. You know, we have dissociated ourselves here from Africa completely. I do not refer to myself as being African American. There's not a thing about me that's African. I was born here. My family's been here for generations. You know, there is no going back to Africa. For me, that's as silly as telling someone who's Latin, whose family has been here for generations, oh, go back to Mexico. This is just really silly. It's a very ignorant thing to say. So there's not a thing about me African. In fact, and some people may resent me for saying this, but if you look at an American black and an African black, there is a very clear difference in our appearance. You know when you're looking at an American black and when you're looking at an African. I'll just say that. I'm not trying to throw no shade at nobody, but you get what I'm saying. So I'm not interested in African culture. I don't want to dress like them. I don't want to eat their food. I saw they had some sort of showdown, jambalaya versus jollof rice, and I'm just like, a showdown? What? What are y'all talking about, man? There is no showdown. American blacks don't typically eat jollof rice, but we'll certainly have some jambalaya though. So call me biased, man. There's no circumstance where I would be about to eat jollof rice. I mean, just no. But that jambalaya, you go ahead and serve that up. So seeing this happen is very interesting. And the only people who are offended by it, of course, are people who actually migrated here from Africa. They're basically like, well, what's the problem? What's the big deal or whatever? You know exactly what the problem is. You know exactly what the big deal is. Because people from America could never go over there to Africa and do the same thing that's being done here that you're expecting American blacks to accept and be happy about. Like, most of the American blacks that I know, they don't want to listen to your music. They don't want to wear your clothes. They don't want to eat your food. They have no interest in what y'all are talking about or what y'all are doing whatsoever. And I mean, you could say, oh, that's just your opinion. Not really, because if you look at the attendance at the event, I'm speaking facts here. Like, if you look at the attendance of the freaking event, I'm not somebody that's just going on and don't know what they're talking about. That's why I love facts. Facts are facts, numbers are numbers. And when you see how not only numbers with the attendance are down, but those videos showing so much empty space, that is powerful compared to videos I've seen from that same event years ago where you had people like Janet Jackson there performing and whatnot. This whole African beating a drum thing, this ain't it, man. I recommend they figure this out and figure it out quick, because if they continue to move in the direction that they moving in, this thing is going to go belly up. You have people in the leadership position that are doing what they want personally over what's best for business. And that's not going to work out in the end. It never does. But I'm going to leave it there, though, you guys. Hit me with a like if you like what I do. Hit me with a sub if you like what I do. And hit me in them comments. I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.